Hello everyone, I am Thomas and this is Power Platform Done Quick. Today I'll be showing you how to move the mouse to a web element. That is usually pretty easy when we're dealing with standard program elements, but in a website it's a bit tricky. There isn't an inbuilt function for it, but we can still manage to do it with a bit of a workaround. Now the element I'd like to move to is this reset puzzle button. I can of course click on it, but sometimes it's not possible to click on it, so you'd like to move the mouse to the element and then send a click to the screen. Before I add elements, I always open the Dev tool using F12 and check out the elements, see if there's anything unique about it. And there is. It has an ALT attribute called reset puzzle, and that should be easy. Alright, adding the element. Always edit the element after adding, and as you can see, for Automate Desktop activates all the attributes and all the tree structure down to the end, but there's really no need. Always have as many possible when adding elements, any elements really. So now our CSS selector is nice and neat. In order to get the coordinates of it, I would say here, I want the coordinates, but there's no inbuilt attribute to get that. But there's a secret attribute called WA element center chords. And if we run it, we have the coordinates. Now let's try to move the mouse to these coordinates. This is a text variable that gives you a string, so first we have to split them up. In order to do that, we'll use the split text action and use a comma as a delimiter. Oops, I chose attribute value. I'll fix that in a bit. I'll call these chords lists. I don't want the coordinates to be called attribute value. I'll call them chords. So if I run this now, these should be split up nice and neat into a list. Perfect. And the next thing I want to do is convert them to an actual number. These will always be integers, so there's no need to worry about decimal points or anything. There we go. Text to number. I want to the first number, the x value. I want to convert that to a number and call it, well, x1. Nice and neat. Do the same to the y value, of course. Y. Okay, now I have the two values and I should be able to move them to move the mouse. We're not done yet because this will inevitably fail relative to the active window. As you can see, my mouse is up here, but it should be down there. And that is because those coordinates that I read do not include any top bar of the browser. Really, they're just relative to the window, so they're relative to this part. So they'll always be offset with this much. The same with the X value. If I had any bar in the side, for example the Dev tool, it wouldn't include the Dev tool. So we have to add any Y coordinates stemming from a bookmark or top bar or whatever. And getting those values is actually very easy. I'll use an increase variable on the X coordinate first, and I'll get it from the browser instance. And it's this numeric value here, display rectangle X. I'll do the same with the Y. And let's try to move the mouse now. Perfect. I just love it when it works. Now, we should clean this up a bit and add a subflow called move mouse and throw our code into this. Okay, now I can just run the subflow every time I want to move the mouse to something. I'll just sniff the coordinates and then run the subflow. And of course, afterwards, usually you'd want to click it. So I'll just send a mouse click to the screen. Now, this isn't always enough because sometimes you'd like to actually click the element next to what you're sniffing, or above it, or below it, and so on and so on. So I usually add a bit of extra functionality to the proceedings. I'll use a set variable and make an dynamic x variable. Let's start with 0 and a y variable, also 0, and in the end of this subflow I'll reset them to 0. Now, in order to actually move the mouse, you'll of course have to add these values to the x1 and y1, and that's easy, just like this. Okay, there's 0 at the moment, so it really won't make a difference, but if I want to move the mouse an extra bit, I can always here say 400 pixels to the right. I can always run this and it'll move the mouse 400 pixels to the right of the elements that I'm actually doing. So the mouse is out here. And I don't have to reset the x and y values because they've been reset in here. For the moment, let's see if this even works. I will make the first move of the chess puzzle. I've already solved this. I'm not a chess puzzle genius, don't you worry about it. And I will see if the puzzle is being reset. It works. Happy days. I hope you learned anything. Have a good day.